Greetings, my little maggots. My name is Rot, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi, hello, nice to have you here. So, one of the most commonly asked questions of me both on stream, in DMs, and in general is, how do I open commissions? Do you have any tips on how to price your work, etc.? Though I'm certainly not an expert, I have been doing commissions for quite a while now, so in this video I plan to share my entire commission process and carefully explain how I operate business-wise so that if you're an artist looking to make money for your art, my experiences and suggestions may help you get started. Before I get into all of that though, I want to thank Pisco as usual for being a supporter on Ko-Fi, and I also want to thank everyone because I finally reached my 1K follower milestone on Instagram. If you want to see my art outside of my videos, then you can follow me there or also on DeviantArt. Other than that, I did want to note that this video will also be in my announcement that I'm opening commissions again. I will have 5 slots open, so if you're interested in commissioning me, my commission sheet and commission info will be linked down below. To get a commission, you just need to DM me on ToyHouse, DeviantArt, Instagram, or Tumblr, all of which are linked down below in the card. With all of that out of the way, let's get into it. So first of all, I want to talk about pricing. Pricing is a difficult thing for beginners, I've noticed, especially when it comes to a good like art, which can be worth vastly different amounts of money depending on the artist's skill level, notoriety, and work ethic. When I first started commissions, I was massively underpricing my work. Just to give you an idea of how much I was underpricing myself, currently a fully rendered full body commission from me would run you about 70 USD. However, when I first started opening comms, I only charged 35. I've talked about this in videos before, but I want to make it clear to everyone that, hey, maybe massively underpricing your work is bad, and you shouldn't do that. As I always say, art is a luxury item and not a necessity. It can be important and in many cases helpful, yes, but it's not something that people need. As such, you can price your work as you see fit. When pricing your work, you're going to want to consider things like the time you take in creating your art, the effort you put into it, as well as the quality of your work. The longer time you spend on a piece and the more effort that you put into it, the more that you can and should charge for it. This is why a fully rendered non-chibi piece will always cost more than a chibi one. It's generally less labor-intensive to draw chibis than characters with accurate anatomy, and that's why chibis will often cost less. Now, an important thing to note here is that pricing may be a little bit more difficult if you're a lesser-known artist. As someone with a decently sized platform myself, I have the luxury to price my art a little bit higher now than I did back when I was a smaller channel. Remember how I mentioned that I used to do full bodies fully rendered for 35 bucks? When I made that first commission sheet and set those prices, I only had around 1K subs and had never opened commissions before. Thus, I priced my work lower because I was lesser known. As my channel has grown and as I've gotten more business and have become more experienced as an artist and as a commission taker, I was able to essentially double my prices and make a decent amount for my work. Thus, if you in the audience are a smaller artist and are inexperienced with commissions, you might need to start at a lower price and then raise them as you gain more experience and business. Don't undercharge your work to the extent that I did. That was a very bad idea on my end, but just make sure not to overprice. That's also important as you first start out. You're more likely to get buyers as a smaller creator if your prices are reasonable, not massively undercharged, but also not incredibly expensive either. I also acknowledge that assigning a price tag to art can be difficult if you don't have a frame of reference, so when pricing your work, I'd recommend looking at the commission sheets and prices listed by other artists. Take note of how they might price their work depending on its quality and content, and maybe apply that to your own. Outside of just pricing, marketing is also important when you start doing commissions. Before opening commissions, you're going to want to have a large portfolio of work and some examples of your art that people can see. You can do this by building up your image and post count on art sites that you can refer people to if they want to see the general quality of your body of work. Besides that, I would also recommend marketing your skills and your prices with a legible, eye-catching, and clean commission sheet that shows off the kind of work that you do. For example, you can find my commission sheet on the commission page of my card site, linked below. My sheet is easy to read and eye-catching but not too intense pink, and it features a drawing of my OC Vince that is quality and represents my body of work and aesthetic well. Not only that, but it carefully lists each of my prices for different things and also includes my personal boundaries. Personal boundaries are incredibly important to include when you advertise commissions. If you're a minor or just otherwise uninterested in fetish or NSFW content, then make sure to list that you don't draw that kind of content on your comm sheet. Similarly, if you're inexperienced with or just dislike drawing something specific, for me I dislike drawing and I'm not good at drawing mechs or quadrupeds, then you should consider listing those things as well as things that you won't draw. Regardless of what your commission sheet says though, if a commissioner asks you to draw something that's out of your expertise or comfort zone, never be afraid to say no. You're the artist and you're not obligated to create things that you are not interested in making and have every right to deny any commission that you don't want to take. Also, including a note about how and where to contact you as well as your payment preferences can be a good thing to list on either your comm sheet or in the description of the post. Also, if you're the type who tends to get overwhelmed when you have too many things on your plate, you might want to consider opening a fixed number of slots so that you don't accept too many projects at once. For example, I generally open commissions every couple of months and will open 5 to 7 slots at a time, sometimes less if I'm particularly busy. Make sure to take breaks and don't overwork yourself. Alright, with all of that background stuff covered, I'm going to walk all of you through what my general commission process looks like. It's going to be kind of a POV comms erotica kind of thing, where I walk through each step, explain how I do things, why I do things like I do, and then give some tips along the way. Starting with the beginning interactions, I have always had commissioners contact me through DMs on any of my social media. Instagram DMs and Twitter DMs, if you use that cursed hell site, are particularly good for these kinds of exchanges. However, if you're comfortable with giving your Discord out, that's also a great option to keep in touch with commissioners easily. There are a few things that you need to specifically ask for when first discussing the terms of a commission. This is the amount of work needed to be done, the character the commissioner wants you to draw, the posing, color palette, and expressions of that character, and finally, pricing. Also for this video, I'm going to be assuming that anybody taking my tips is going to be a character artist because I don't work outside of character art, so you might want to watch a different video if you're planning on doing different kinds of commissions. In this first conversation with your commissioner, you'll always want to ask for a full reference for the character that you will be drawing, preferably with a smooth, flat color palette that you can use a color picker to get the precise hex codes of. Besides that, you'll always want to discuss the amount of work that the commissioner wants you to do. Do they want a headshot, a full body? Do they just want a sketch, or do they want line art? Do they want things fully rendered or flat? After determining those things, I also heavily recommend asking the commissioner for specific things that they want incorporated into the piece. You need to know if they want a character drawn in a specific outfit, in a specific pose, and with a certain expression on their face. Finally, and this is just really a personal preference, you'll want the commissioner to pay up front. Many different artists accept different payment methods, such as several different kinds of payment plans, but I personally only have 2 ways of accepting payments. I will either ask the commissioner to pay the full amount upfront, or if the commission is over a certain amount and the commissioner wants to pay in smaller amounts, I accept half upfront and half when the sketch is finished. Unfortunately, artists and commissioners get scammed all the time, and this is especially the case if you've never worked with someone before, it's important to be compensated for your work and to get your payments on time. You'll never want to finish a piece and then have the commissioner just kind of take it and then dip without paying. Similarly, if you're the commissioner in this scenario, I can understand not wanting to pay the full amount to an artist if you haven't worked with them before. You will also want to have something like a PayPal or another similar service to accept money from. I personally use PayPal and have used it since I was 16. You can get a PayPal as long as you have a bank account that you can connect it to, but be aware that PayPal may suspend, lock, or ban your account if they find out that you're a minor and under 18. There are also other similar services to PayPal that you can use instead, though I don't know much about them and would recommend doing your own research on any service you're considering using before signing up for it. So essentially, work out a payment plan or a method that works for both you as the artist and the commissioner. Finally, after I accept payment, I will give the commissioner a general time frame for when the sketch will be finished. If there's any updates or a change in plan that means you'll have to take a while longer to finish, please communicate with your commissioners. I cannot tell you how many people I've had to tell, hey, might need to take a little bit longer on this, ask if you need any more updates, for them to just be like, thanks for communicating. I've had so many artists just ghost me and not give me any updates at all for months. Please, artists, as a collective, communicate with and update your clients when necessary. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine just being kept in the dark about something that you paid for. When I'm ready to do so, I start on the sketch. My sketches are usually pretty rough, and if you'd like to see my whole art process, then you can become a member on Ko-Fi to see all of my work in progress art, shameless plug, and when I finish them, I will save the sketch and then send it over to the commissioner. This is so that the client can look over the sketch and request any changes that they want. For example, quote, could you change the hand to a peace sign, or quote, can you add a flower, or even, quote, can you tweak the pose or the outfit? I've never had this happen to me personally, but I've heard of commissioners asking repeatedly for excessive tweaks, so if their requests for changes are excessive or labor-intensive, I would recommend charging them a little bit extra when necessary. Remember, time is money, and if they want you to change a substantial amount, then the time spent fixing that is worth money. After the commissioner either approves or requests changes to the sketch, I will fix the changes if there were any and then move on to the next steps of the art process. I personally don't send any work-in-progress images to my commissioner after the sketch, but if other artists do, or if you want to do that, then that's fine and I would encourage you to do so. For me, I will just kind of finish the commission and then send the final version to the client when I'm done, and then ask them if they want any final changes, such as color alterations or the addition of something small. If they make any requests, I can update the work and then everything is done. The commission is finished and sent to the client. Now, just a heads up to any of you artists out there, I would strongly recommend creating a business email specifically for art and commission work. You see, though social media DMs are great for communicating quickly and efficiently during the commission process, they will also pixelate and degrade the quality of images. Thus, I will always offer to email the client a high-quality version of the art so that it's not pixelated or crunchy. As always, I also will thank my commissioner for their business and their patience, and then we will go our separate ways. I really like being professional and kind when communicating with my clients because not only is it just the right thing to do, it also establishes a positive relationship between artist and commissioner. When a commissioner has a good experience with you as an artist, likes their final product, and is satisfied with your manners and your service, then they'll be more likely to commission and work with you again in the future. Most of my commissioners last time I opened my slots, for example, were people I'd already worked with, and the person who bought my most recent Adopt was a lovely commissioner I'd worked with in the past. So yes, practicing good professional etiquette when communicating with clients is also incredibly important as an artist. Keep that in mind, boys. And there you have it, my entire commission process and some of my personal advice. If you're a young artist just starting out, I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. I know I've said in the past that I don't really want to do tips or advice videos, but I actually did want to make this one and found it kind of fun to explain my process. Now, if you're a commissioner and haven't worked with me before, you know what to expect in terms of my process. As I announced at the beginning of the video, I will have 5 commission slots open. It's first come, first serve, so DM me if you're interested. All of my socials and my comm sheet will be linked in the description. With all of that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in seeing my art outside of my videos, then the links to all of my socials are in the card in the description. Again, thank you all for 1K followers on Instagram. Thank you all for watching, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and I will now bid you all adieu.